I'm honored to be here today as the guest of honor for this inaugural Data Privacy Week Symposium. Indeed, today it marks history, together as we deepen the implementation of the Cyber and Data Protection Act, Chapter 12.07. I want to extend my gratitude to Potraz for organizing this very important event, which is the first of its kind here in Zimbabwe. I commend that since this is the first event, I believe that we're going to have more of these events going forward. We really want to thank you, Potraz, for also hitting the ground running concerning its additional mandate as the Data Protection Authority of Zimbabwe. This symposium is a demonstration of Potraz's dedication to raising awareness of the importance of data protection and also data privacy, as to providing a platform for stakeholders to discuss this critical issue. I remember the other time we launched the Cyber and Data Protection Week, where we are also realizing that it's important for us to have awareness towards this. Indeed, today, I really want to also thank our President, His Excellency Dr. Mnangagwa, for also setting forth the legislative agenda in the 9th Parliament, which then brought forth the Cyber Data Protection Act. Indeed, as a country, we are now being recognized as a global player when it comes to data protection. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in an exciting yet very complex digital world where one ought to take control of their data if they are to successfully dodge the various ills that are rampant in the digital space. The inability to effectively control and safeguard the use and sharing of one's personal information may lead to regrettable consequences like identity theft, cyberbullying, and fraud, to just mention a few. Indeed, I'm here and I'm very happy to be part of this symposium, and which has got the theme, Take Control of Your Data. Indeed, this is very important, and for us as a ministry, which is responsible for information and communication technology, it is also our responsibility to let our people know how they can safely navigate the new digital world order. It is also imperative, therefore, that every Zimbabwean would also be able to find it in making sure that it is their duty to also partner with Potraz in this noble cause of promoting awareness of data privacy. Indeed, we need also to take control of our data, and no one should be left behind. Guided by our President, His Excellency Dr. Mnangagwa, I also want to also urge Potraz to also go beyond the towns and also educate the masses in the rural areas, where a lot of data collection is taking place and shared without the consent of the data subjects. Indeed, we're saying no one should be left behind. The reality of our time is that trillions of megabytes of data flow across the globe daily, and we are part of this big data community. We are also there to also use data in our everyday lives, and we make decisions, national, organizational, family decisions, and even personal levels. We are using decisions based on big data. But however, for us to also make sure that we put this to good use, the exponential growth of data collection, use, and also sharing provides a good opportunity for greater convenience and efficiency, and even business opportunities. It also creates vast opportunities for innovation and growth. However, when it is abused, it has the potential to cause a lot of pain and destruction. Data transactions, by their nature, transcend personal and national spaces, and if left unregulated, may violate individual rights and security. As much as the ministry and also Potraz will help us with regulations and protect the nation and ourselves, it is also important for us to take it upon ourselves to see how best we can then be able to make sure that we protect our data. The Zimbabwean government is committed to protecting the privacy of its citizens' personal information. We recognize that data privacy is also a fundamental human right according to the Constitution of Zimbabwe, and we have put in place a regulatory framework to safeguard the use and sharing of personal information. This framework is outlined under the Cyber and Data Protection Act. This is also there to also make sure that we provide for the protection of personal information and also the designation of Potraz to oversee the protection of personal issues here in Zimbabwe. However, protecting data privacy is not just the responsibility of the government of Zimbabwe. Indeed, it is a shared responsibility that has to take a multi-sectoral approach that we are also supposed to all contribute towards. I'm happy that today we had various stakeholders coming through to also speak about this. And indeed, I also saw Zambia, Uganda also contributing towards this. And for us as a country, we need to take it upon ourselves to also learn from other jurisdictions so that we're able to implement this. The use of personal data comes with a responsibility to ensure that it is used ethically and that the privacy of individuals is also respected. All stakeholders, including the private sector, civil society, and individuals, definitely have a role in creating a culture of data privacy in Zimbabwe. Culture, by its very nature, is invariably grown in our everyday lives, and we have seen this. We must also make sure that at least we see how best we can also fuse in our culture and also in the same time also protecting our data. Indeed, I really want to also make sure that we need to raise a lot of awareness. I understand on the conversation you had before, you would realize that a lot of people are saying they are not very much exposed to what the Data and Cyber Protection Act speaks about. And it is important and it is imperative for us as a ministry to take it upon ourselves so that we go out there and make sure that we also even have rural expos, we even have urban expos where we are also going to have people being very much exposed to what the Cyber and Data Protection Act is also talking about. As we celebrate the first edition of the Data Privacy Week under the theme, Take Control of Your Data, I really want to urge all stakeholders to prioritize data privacy in their operations and also their activities. As the economy continues to digitize towards Vision 2030, it is important to recognize that the protection of personal information is not just a matter of compliance, but also a matter of dignity. Constitutional imperative, trust and cooperation is also very critical. We need also to have trust, and which I believe is a critical component in any thriving digital ecosystem, and it is essential for the growth of the digital economy. I encourage organizations to adopt best practices for data protection and to invest in the necessary infrastructure and human capital to ensure that personal information is also secured. I understand that there has been a proposal to say it is quite important for all organizations to also come up with data protection officers and also even a data protection unit within your organizations. This is very important, and we're encouraging all organizations to also make sure that they follow suit. I've also taken it upon myself to make sure that we equip our national data center. We want to equip our national data center, and within that same thrust, we also need to also see as a country to also look for alternative ways of us having cloud computing services. You realize that as a country, we have got companies that have already privatized in also providing cloud computing services. And I'm saying let us look at what other jurisdictions are offering. It's important for us to make sure that we are able to provide for cloud computing services which are also in line with what we would want to do as a country and also which are also cheap. So we are saying companies that are involved in this, let's see how best we can engage to make sure at least that we have got at least affordable cloud computing services. This then protects our data. If we've got companies that we know we can also be able to control, I think this will also go a long way. There was an issue which was also raised in most of the meetings that we have had of the .gov government domain. Definitely there is never a time we can be able to protect our data in Zimbabwe if government officials are using Gmail accounts. So what have we done? We've taken it upon ourselves. Right now we have got 5 ministries that have already started using the .gov domain. And I think this is quite imperative if ever we are going to make sure that we are protecting our data, because this is a starting point for us as a country, where we are saying we need definitely to be hosting our own emails at government level. When we do this, then definitely we can even go and be able to also have processors that will also be able to have cloud computing services, which will see emails being hosted locally. So we are saying let's work together on this so that we're able to also make sure we enhance this. Definitely, there are a lot of disparities. When you're talking about people from the rural areas and people who are here in the urban areas, when it comes to their exposure to cyber and data protection issues. And I'm happy that Potraz has taken it upon itself and already has got this unit. We definitely need to transit to go down to the private players, even to the rural areas, and see ourselves come up with this awareness. We need to come and also make sure that there is also the requisite infrastructure when it comes to people also making sure that they protect their data.
The symposium is all about information sharing, especially for data controllers who happen to be organizations like ourselves, ZB Financial Holdings. What is expected from us as an organization, as a data controller, we do collect personal information from our clients, and we do store this information in our systems. So there are certain expectations that are enacted in the Act on how we are supposed to process, collect that data that we collect from our clients, and how we're supposed to store it. So I think key takeaways from this symposium is, as an organization, ZB Financial Holdings, they are supposed to appoint a data protection officer, of which we have already done that as an organization. Also, I think a key takeaway is information that is supposed to disseminate to all data subjects, that there are data privacy rights that they have and they should enforce as and when they interact with the people who are collecting information. The Director General for Potraz, as he was presenting, one key takeaway that I got was us as data subjects, we do open windows as far as our data is concerned. And he gave an example of our WhatsApp status. You wake up in the morning, you go jogging, you put a status. At 10 o'clock, we are at the airport, you put a status. You have landed where you're going, you put a status. So it's easy for somebody then to follow and track you where you're going, what you're doing, and they can then use that information to harm you or to harm your organization. So it's important for us to reflect on what we put in the digital space out there and how that information is used. Data is the new money, the new modern money. So because a lot of people who have made it in this world are monetizing the data. So it's important, yes, to make sure that we take care of the data that we collect. The minister came also, gave a good opening remark, which was also then pointing that there is a gap in terms of information dissemination as far as the issue of data protection is concerned, where information is supposed to reach all the four corners of Zimbabwe. That is to include the rural folks who are unaware of what they are supposed, the rights that they have concerning their data.